Right, hello, happy witching hour. It is High Priestess Jamila. Who is up with me, I wonder? And I'm doing like just some random readings. Um, you guys are welcome to schedule with me. I do have a reading special going on right now. You can do a half hour with me for $44 and a full hour is $88. Okay. And my Cash App is right there for you. All right. And I'm just going to choose random zodiac signs. I'm going to do some sample readings for y'all. By the way, y'all, I do offer spiritual work. I have been kind of busy, realigning and everything the past 3 months. And so I haven't really been on here speaking about like curse removal and bindings on enemies. So you guys can contact me about that, okay? Because some of your enemies need to be, well, some of them need to be binded really bad, okay? And then also I'm concerned about curse removals, reversals, because it's really been not enough of those being done. Because as you guys know, a lot of times curses are coming from bad spirits that are being invoked. And so things have been kind of wonky here lately. So y'all can contact me about that, as well as other stuff, you know. All right. Let me go ahead and throw the cards real quick. Who are we reading? Mm, looks like we're reading some Leos. What messages do we have? Mm, looks like some Leo women in particular. Of the Six of Wands inverted, that card is connected to the sun. And I can tell that a lot of Leo women have been feeling stuck and blocked. Y'all are dealing with a major problem, something that has been happening a lot lately. I see a coven being directed by a diabolical male. Could be of any zodiac sign. Looks like maybe a fire sign male though. But whoever this person is, they have been. Mm-hmm. So I can see Leos. It may be male Leos, but I'm seeing predominantly a lot of female Leo women being affected by, looks like a coven, Three of Cups, being directed by a male that's been messing with you and stalking you. And then it kind of goes down from there. Page of Wands inverted, Two of Wands inverted, the High Priestess reverted, inverted, the Star inverted, Queen of Pentacles is upright, and then Four of Pentacles is inverted. So a lot of y'all Leo women feel like y'all been getting stalked or either spiritually harassed by a coven of women who looks like they're possibly being financed by some diabolical male. I'm pretty sure this is like an ex or either possibly just some random male. Anyway, the dynamics look pretty bad because a lot of you guys have been wondering why. It's almost like your shine is being stolen, not feeling like yourself. Been some depression. Mm. This could be any zodiac sign, though, that I'm reading. But the reason why I say Leo is because there's 6 of Wands. And I said it was random. Could be an earth sign, though. Whoever this male is, though, just wants to conquer women. And oh, God, this looks all too familiar. Whoever this male is, they just want to conquer women. Very angry and spiteful. And so but they're getting female witches and financing them, right? Financing these female witches just to do work on you, to do spiritual work and curses on you. So a lot of you Leos have been going through a lot. And again, you could be another fire sign. And things have been really confusing lately. Hmm. Things have been really confusing lately for whoever this reading is for. And that is because you become a target. And so things have really went downhill for a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all that I'm talking to, like a lot of your spiritual gifts, you practice yourself and you've been kind of wondering why things have been weird. Things have been weird for you. It's been kind of strange. And y'all been wondering what's going on. And that's because you're a target and a lot of work is being done to you. And it seems like what it's doing is it's really been causing a lot of problems. And I can definitely see financial constraints that you're not used to, Leo. Let me find out more about whoever this looks like you're dealing with a misogynist. What's going on with whoever that is? Yeah. 7 of Cups inverted. Show me more about whoever that male is. So it looks like it's somebody that you dated or either was involved with like several years ago, but they don't want to get over it. Mm. Yeah, they don't want to walk away for some reason, but it's mhm. And it looks like whatever the situation is going to fix itself like within the next several years, but that's too long. That's too long. Basically, you got somebody that is going through some kind of mental issue and they don't want to let you go. I can definitely see that whoever it is being drained financially by whoever this is a coven that's draining this person financially. But the problem is that it's also draining you. It's also draining you. For some of y'all, it could be that you are still intimately involved with this person, but whoever they are, they kind of weak minded. They don't they don't really know what's going on. But whoever this coven is, they're draining them financially and it's draining you. And I think this person might be doing work on some of y'all to get back with y'all, but that's not going to ever happen. So a love reunion is not going to happen. It's basically just like some kind of trickery because you've already walked away. So it's not it for some of y'all. It's not necessarily that this male is like I think that what's going on is that it's just somebody that thinks that they're smart, but in reality they're not very smart because whatever is going on, it's y'all need work done. Y'all do. Y'all need some kind of defense from this situation because whoever this male is, that this what I can't stand. I can't stand when I see this happen. Somebody is getting work done. They're being taken advantage of, and they will go to these people to get work done. And this person and it'll be some diabolical stuff going on. And they will give people all your information, your photographs. That looks like somewhat of what's happening. Just when I take a deeper look, 7 of Cups inverted, so there's some illusions being casted. Queen of Cups upright, 10 of Swords, eight of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles inverted. So you can definitely tell that there's some kind of emotional manipulation. 8 of Cups inverted, 3 of Pentacles inverted, and then the Hermit upright. So you can tell that it's not going to end with some kind of, it looked like it's some kind of long term type of fuckery. And it looks like a lot of money has been spent for something that ain't gonna happen. hmm For some of y'all that I'm looking at here, though, is somebody that is interested in you romantically, and they've been getting spiritual work done on you, and y'all barely know this person, but the spiritual work that's being done has been keeping you wrapped up in these negative cycles. It's been keeping you in a negative cycle, and you're not even sure what's going on. Some of y'all don't even know this person. That's crazy. It's a reason why people say that witchcraft is evil. Y'all. Oh, here's what I say. I say that witchcraft is only as evil or unethical as the practitioner, is what I say. Witchcraft itself doesn't have to be evil, but like the situation that I'm looking at right now, it's pretty diabolical, because you've had somebody randomly doing spiritual work on you, but they know a lot about you. You know what I'm saying? And you've been wondering why things have been kind of wonky. It's kind of difficult to, here lately it's been very difficult, um for me as a practitioner that assists people, that helps people. It's been kind of difficult for me to um let for me to get through to people as far as them, getting the spiritual help that they need, because of the prevalence of, just possession and being under mind control. But some people tend to stay sharp in those situations. You know what I'm saying? Like their intuition stays sharp in those situations. But lately it's been difficult for me to let people know, hey, you need some help. I see a hex, I see a curse, and people are just like kind of in denial about it. It's been extremely frustrating, because that's yeah, that's been pretty frustrating for me, because I'm not in it to take advantage of people, and I never will be, because I just kind of feel like there's a lot of negative karma involved in that anyway. So I would never like take advantage of people using the craft ever. So I'm not Jamila. High Priestess Jamila ain't playing that. But it is extremely difficult, because people the only time people realize that there's a problem is either if there's a loss. People will real And then sometimes, even then, they have to have like several consecutive losses for them to realize that something is not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about major losses of things that are very important, like job loss. Typically, as long as people have a job, they seem to not pay attention to what's happening. But then, as soon as people lose a job, they're like, or either have problems on the job, they're like, okay, something is not right. Then they'll seek help. Or if it's something like a miscarriage or something, or either your child is acting up. Otherwise, people just don't pay attention. Even if they're sick, even if people are feeling sick, because curses can often make people feel sick. I've noticed that. I've noticed that people don't put too much concern in their mental and physical well-being, but as soon as they lose some money. Now, of course, money is important because people, you can't live in this world without money. But but it's still important for you to pay attention to the signs. And sometimes people will have signs of spiritual activity being directed towards them. And a lot of the times, those signs will be a small child is like acting strangely. And a lot of people will look at the behaviors of children, and they will think that it's normal for children to behave that way. And that's actually not the truth. And I have had people come to me because they're like, wait a minute, this is not normal. Why is my child acting possessed? Why does it seem like, you know, sometimes people will get tricked into thinking that signs of being hexed or cursed are normal, and they're not. They're not. A lot of people have lacked clarity these days. I've noticed, especially in the past couple of years. And why is that? Mm-hmm. Mm. So here's what I'm getting. I'm getting that the reason why is because a lot of people's intuition is blocked, and a lot of people, the way that it is being done is so diabolical. This just literally makes me lose hope in humanity. The reason why a lot of people are are going through this is because for some reason the first thing that these people hit up, the first thing they attack is your mind. They start at the head. The hanged man came up inverted. So that's the reason why people are typically very stagnant and kind of slow about seeking assistance for it. But then by that time, it can possibly be either too late, or either there's a lot of people that will go and deal with people that are disingenuous. But that's why, because your mind is under attack first. Yeah. And so I gotta tell y'all, it is very difficult being somebody that out here that has a heart to help people. It's very difficult for people like me because there's so many evil, diabolical people out here that just want to curse people. Which I mean, there's quite a few like me out here that genuinely, that are helping people, but I can tell you that it can get very difficult for people like us. because this is just terrible what I'm looking at. King of Pentacles inverted, Knight of Pentacles inverted, the Chariot inverted, and then the Hanged Man inverted, which is stagnation, blocks, obstacles. But what really mainly catches my eye is people attacking people at their core, on a level to where it kind of makes it impossible for a lot. I wonder what kind of evil, goodness gracious. That's just evil. God. Mm, this is just evil and hateful. And they want to be thorough with it. Because I guess when they promise the client that they're going to do it, like they want to make sure that it's done. They want to make sure that it is done. So they just do not care. I mean, goodness gracious. Let me light up this Palo stick. Mm, that's just terrible. Yeah, it's being done on, because y'all know that I've been kind of warning people about what I call medical witchcraft. So medical witchcraft to attack a person's mental state and to attack their physical health is being done to make sure that the person is not a threat, but then also to make sure that they are thoroughly cursed, to make sure things are thorough. That's what they're doing. And some of y'all are just y'all can either be random victims of this, or you can have someone like we were talking about, like an ex that goes to somebody, an ex that can't get over it. And it's not natural for someone to just, first of all, if it's a situation that a person needs to walk away from, like if it is unjustified for people to do stuff like that, but people still do it. People still attack people with black magic, even when it's unjustified. There's a lot of people that don't care. Okay. In fact, they don't believe, for some reason, people don't believe in karma and they don't believe in consequences because the word karma is mainly a term that comes from Hinduism. But just because it's a term that comes from Hinduism does not mean that it doesn't exist. But people will convince themselves of anything. And sometimes belief can be very powerful, right? So, what somebody believes in is very powerful. So, there's a lot of people, the reason why they're doing a lot of things is because they feel like they don't have to think about the consequences of their actions. But what it is, and see, I don't believe necessarily, well, I do believe in karma. I do believe that, people should think about what they do to others. Okay. But mainly what I think about is the fact that Hinduism don't have nothing to do with it. When you look at karma, you got to look at the planet. Saturn is connected to karma, and then so is Mercury. So it's not that karma is a belief that is only connected to certain cultures. I mean, it's pretty universal. So, it will eventually is something that you have to deal with. And I think that whatever it is that you're doing, I think that what should be taken into consideration as much as possible is, are you justified in doing what you're doing? As far as with putting black magic on people, I think people should look at that. I think that you should look at the justification. I don't believe in people just thinking you can just randomly go and use black magic whenever you want, especially if the person is not attacking you. But there's some people that are very egotistical, and they're you know they kind of, it doesn't matter to them. That aspect of it just totally does not matter, but it should. But there's some people, their ego blinds them to the point where they are doing way too much, y'all. Like, this, to me, that's way too much. I think people should think about the spiritual stuff that they're doing before they do it, because sometimes, and especially today's Tuesday, ain't it? I believe today is Tuesday. Let me see. Yep, today is Tuesday, March the 25th of 2025. Sometimes the universe will just randomly, it'll be very random. Just kind of teach people stuff. Tuesday is the same thing as, that today is a day where it's a lot of like, people start learning karmic lessons and stuff on a Tuesday. hmm I don't believe in doing spiritual work on people that don't deserve it, like dark magic. I don't believe in doing that. But then again, I also think that people should let the punishment fit the crime. I don't believe in going overboard and going too far, because I think that people that do that, they go too far when they're doing black magic or either attacks on people. And that's whether or not you're doing it in a mundane way or a magical way. Because, people can reverse mundane things too. Like, for example, spreading rumors about somebody. Spreading rumors about somebody is not necessarily the result of a spiritual thing, but it's more so trying to ruin somebody's reputation, right? That's an example that I'm using. It's outside of this. It's not like you're taking a candle and lighting it, but it's still something that people can say, hey, I can see that this is affecting me, because a rumor or a lie can affect somebody's life in various ways. It can affect their love life, it can affect how people see them, It can affect their money, especially in social media with people spreading rumors and lies and being deceptive. A lot of these jobs will go and look at people's reputation in social media. And so that can affect people. So, people can actually come and get spiritual work to reverse even mundane stuff that people do. So, if you're somebody that doesn't even do black magic, but you're doing mundane stuff to people, like lying on them, like you just have a tendency to lie a lot, and but you're affecting people's lives and happiness. People have a right to be happy. People have a right to be happy. People have that right. When you deny somebody their rights of anything, when you are blocking somebody from anything that they want or desire, it doesn't matter if you go to church, if you are a person that you think you a good person. There's some people that are habitual. I'm gonna tell y'all, lies and deception is one of the worst things that a person can do. And I was looking at that Seven of Cups, and it made me think about that Seven of Cups that came up, which is actually connected to Neptune, to where like sometimes things can cause illusions. And but if somebody's life is being affected by your lies, by you lying on them, they can actually reverse that lie. It has to be reversed and returned to sender, and so you have to deal with the karma of that. You can't really escape that. Or an exaggeration. People need to stop exaggerating. I think that people have a tendency to either lie or exaggerate about stuff. That can be dangerous. But for some reason, people just don't get it. They don't. And if you're lying on someone or either exaggerating, or you are exaggerating the truth about a person, and that's why it's probably a good idea to not sit and just talk about people. Maybe it's good to find something else to do in your leisure. And maybe that's find something else better to do, hun, because if a person comes to a witch and their lives are being affected, and they're like, I think I got some kind of hex or curse on me, but I ain't did nothing to nobody. What's going on? And then a witch just says, okay, well, let's reverse it. Then the next thing you know, whatever it was that was causing the problem, you could be the problem. And you just sitting up there thinking that you innocent, which some people are just delusional. Like I said, you're not innocent, especially if you're telling lies on somebody. People have got to understand that loose lips sink ships, and you can be sinking your own ship. Stop lying and exaggerating on people randomly. Don't do stuff like that. Be quiet. If you remember when your mama told you, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. You know what? That meant something. Like your mama was giving you good advice. Because sometimes the things that you say, you can make you regret what you've said. Because if you're saying something about somebody and you have a habit of, I have seen people that just have a habit of just saying anything about anybody, especially if it's enough people listening. Some people just like to talk about, and you just never know who's listening. You never know how you're affecting that person. Then you've got witnesses, you got people that have functioning brains, and they're listening to what you're saying, and then they're creating certain things. You know, their mind is creating certain things. So you can't just sit in a group of people and just lie. And you got to be careful or exaggerate. I think a lot of people do that simply because they want to make the story sound more interesting and dramatic. Stop being dramatic when you're talking about other people, because basically what will happen is that you can affect that person. And it's a lot of people, they not even witches. They will just go to a botanical and be like, I don't feel like things is going the way the way it's supposed to go. They be thinking, wait a minute, this don't seem right. I feel like I got a hex or a curse on me. And hexes and curses can be born out of lies or just people having a conversation. That's why you should focus on having pleasant conversation or either basic conversation. You know, people like to talk about things and they like to have an impact. Stop doing that, because sometimes you could literally be affecting somebody, and then the next thing you know, they lighting a reversal candle and you getting some bad energy back, and you wondering what the hell going on, because you run your mouth too much. Loose lips sink ships. So talking too much and exaggerating and being real colorful about things is causing you struggle. You can't just go out here in this world and do that. Like, I don't understand why people don't get that, y'all. I don't. I taught my kids that be careful seeking acceptance from other people in the way that you do it. A lot of people do that simply because they're seeking acceptance. There's a way of getting accepted and getting some kind of notoriety in this life other than other than you know, talking about somebody else and trying to bring somebody else down. I taught my kids that. For real, you don't just do that, because people that do that have more obstacles and ups and downs, and it's very tiring. Then there's paranoia. Listen, there's paranoia about your struggles. Stop being paranoid about your struggles and know that there's a solution for your struggles and there's a reason for your struggles. Don't be paranoid about it, because people will get paranoid and instantly become the moon inverted. So that means that you got to talk about somebody else and try to bring somebody else down because you paranoid about what it is that you're doing, about your inadequacies. Don't get stuck in that habit of doing that. People that do that have more problems. You cannot tread on other people and trespass on other people just because you've got struggles. And you know what? Right now, I was doing some readings yesterday, and right now, while Mercury is in retrograde, for some reason, the floodgates are just open for past life karma. For some reason, the floodgates are open for that during Mercury retrograde specifically. So this is when we're dealing with a lot of past life stuff, and it's not just about negative past life, but There's positive that you can pull from that too. But, sometimes people need to really look at themselves and stop blaming other people for their issues. Like, for example, if y'all come to me and y'all like, I think that this person has been doing spiritual work on me, and I'll look at the person and I'll see like the 10 of wands or the 10 of swords or something like that, or either the death card. And a lot of people really don't know how to interpret that. I'll say, what's in this person's energy? And the person that you may have had some kind of drift with or beef with, they done moved on and closed out the cycle. They ain't did nothing to you. That situation is dead. They done got over it and moved on. And you having a problem, and people assume, and sometimes these readers will be reading these cards and they don't know how to interpret them. You have to go to somebody that's experienced, that knows what they're talking about. So sometimes when you come to me, I'll come with some stuff and you'll be like, I do not understand that. All I understand is blaming somebody from 12, 15, 20. Sometimes it is somebody that's obsessive, though. They're just an obsessive person. I've seen people hold on for years and years. And so that does happen. Because a lot of times, if a person has a problem with you and they just want to target you, a lot of times they can't even pull in it. It's got to attach to something negative that you may be doing. And sometimes it'll go, that spirit will have to go for that curse or hex to come on you. It's got to go all the way back to past lives, and then that's where that negative energy will come from. But a lot of times people won't have that issue. There will be no adversarial issue that'll be working against them. It'll literally be something random that will be specifically connected to them. Sometimes people need to learn to look at themselves. But then when you start talking like that, people get scared, especially when they see that death card. Well, the death card and the judgment card in the tarot is connected to sometimes the past or past lives. And a lot of people don't look at that. And I don't understand why people don't. It's almost like people's spiritual education is outdated, or either it's subpar, because you'd be surprised at how much of y'all issues are created just from past life stuff that y'all need to deal with. It ain't always somebody attacking you. Some people that you it's a lot of people that they may get into arguments with people or whatever, and they don't be thinking about doing no cursing. It just be a disagreement, and they just want to let bygones be bygones. And you sitting over there paranoid as hell. You done pulled out a whole collection of skulls and bones and shit. Because there is a such thing as transmuting that energy and transforming it. You got to think about the caterpillar to the butterfly. Okay, this is when it's like a metamorphosis of negativity. And that, butterflies are actually, well, you know what, I would say more so a moth, because moths are very similar to butterflies. Like when a situation has metamorphed, that means it's over. It's in the past. That means that the energy is no more, but a lot of people are still thinking about it. And sometimes you just got to trust and go on. People be thinking, well, I got to make sure I handle this and take care of this. Or some people just really don't know. And and it's not meant for you to stay in that battle for years. Like, that's very malignant. You have a disagreement with somebody 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and people are spouting, people are literally somehow creating war out of that. And those people that have a tendency to do that, but you have to learn those karmic lessons. Because and paranoia is a real thing. I'm paranoid about what this person is going to do, or how they can negatively affect me. And then in a sense, you're creating it. So if a person has already moved on, you can't just say, well, I'm going to open the cycle back up. No, that person has ended that cycle, because that person was smart. They said, I'm not going to stay wrapped up in this. There's a life I want to live. And I've seen people do that. No, I want to keep going with it. No, that person has already moved on. Now, if I throw the cards and I see certain things, like, for example, give me an example of that, please. Mm. Nine of Wands upright, Two of Pentacles inverted, and then the Emperor came up inverted. So anytime you see a two in the tarot, there's either a choice that needs to be made, or either there's a crossroads. So the Two of Pentacles is definitely a choice. So the Two of Pentacles is where a person is upside down, especially with it being inverted like this. And this is an opportunity to move on to better things. Nine of Wands is an extremely positive card, because what that means is that you can make a choice. This is a choice that's being made here. Either you're going to take the high road, and there's a road that you can take that's going to lead to abundance and prosperity and good luck, because the Nine of Wands is connected to Jupiter, which Jupiter is abundance. Jupiter is actually, it can be a very positive energy. It can be a very positive energy. But it can be used for negative purposes. Um because it's about abundance, being that Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. Jupiter is. So, when you think about that, like, it's a lot of space for opportunity for you to just kind of move forward to something more positive. But then on the other side of this crossroads is the Emperor inverted. So this is where you have a lot of instability, insecurity, a lot of possible danger in your life, just negativity. The Emperor inverted is not good. So you have a choice. So that's the example that Spirit gave me. Because the way I read cards is very, like I read them in a lot of different ways, and I already know that when I see those twos come up, that's like a that's a crossroads that you're at, and you're gonna either make a choice. And what's along with those choices? Clarify the Nine of Wands for me. See, Queen of Wands, Ace of Pentacles comes up inverted, and then King of Swords comes up inverted. So that would tell me that, and this is just for whoever needs to hear this, King of Swords is an extremely negative person, negative energy that may have led to some things being blocked. But then this Queen of Wands is somebody that is very smart and intelligent. That, and then she represents, because she's fire, she represents transforming and transformation. So she's talking about transmuting and transforming the situation into something positive, like just moving forward from that situation. Now, when I clarify what's on the other side of the crossroads with this emperor inverted, the death card inverted. See, oh my God, that's crazy. The death card comes up inverted. So this is a situation. This is where you're not closing the door on that five of pentacles. I'm sorry, five of swords. This is all that war and fighting and instability. And then 10 of wands and the knight of swords. So that's where difficulty and burdens are being created. Instability is being created because you can't move forward and close the door on that and say, you know what, let's close this chapter and move forward. So today I'm gonna move forward. Okay, I'm not worried about you and what you can do for me, because I got protection. I'm protecting myself, and I'm moving forward, and I'm choosing a better path to where I'm not involving myself in whatever this is. Okay, whatever this is, I'm not involving myself. So obviously a person that chooses the path of this emperor inverted, they're choosing to not walk to they're choosing to not shut down a difficult situation that really is very frivolous and unnecessary, and maybe has out it's it's probably wore out its welcome, kind of like the situation and problem exists far beyond its time. So that's why this death card is inverted, because it's like, wait a minute, on the other side, hold on, let me show y'all this. This is very interesting. So in other words, it's time to move past that situation, close the door, even if that other person, but it's I guess it depends on if you're looking at the situation daily or if you're looking at it every once in a while. But for some reason, a better choice for a lot of people today would be to kind of move forward, because maybe there's some blessings that you're gonna miss if you stay wrapped up in some bullshit. Hold on. Or maybe actually, I feel like this is a long-term situation that is already played itself out. It's just simply time to move forward. Okay, so you see I got the two of pentacles right there, right? This is on one side of the crossroad. You can see there's some problems, but then the queen of wands comes up, and she's like laying down the law, like, hey, I'm transforming and transmuting this situation. I don't have time for this. I'm ready to live life. And then the nine of wands is where you're moving forward to better things, but you're protecting yourself, right? You're still protecting yourself. You don't have to be paranoid about it, but you're still protecting yourself. Okay? You like, hey, I'm not worried about it. I don't put stuff into place to make sure that I can move on from this situation. You can tell that because of whatever this situation is, that things were not as good. The luck was bad. And this person is like, hey, listen, there's bad luck connected to this situation. and I'm transmuting it to good. But then on the flip side, you got this emperor inverted, and this situation should have been done, closed the situation out. It should have been over. It was over right here. The 10 of the any 10 is going to be the end of a cycle. This is somebody trying to keep it going, and they need to let it go, because this the death card is endings, endings and new beginnings, right? So there's a choice you can make. Okay. Yeah. Some people need to choose to just move forward from stuff. Okay. It's very important to do that. Otherwise, sometimes people will have you wrapped up in negative situations for years and years. Who wants to do that? And people can't force you. They can't force you. I mean, I guess they can try to force you to stay wrapped up in it. I wouldn't let nobody force me to stay wrapped up in a bunch of crud. I just wouldn't be doing it, y'all. That's just, you know, there is a such thing as happiness, you know what I'm saying, and peace and abundance, instead of just staying wrapped up in some bull crap. I don't know. And so I know that there's always these opportunities out there for like spiritual war and things of that nature, because there's a lot of people out there that are really, really confused. It's a lot of space and opportunity for that. But that's why your protection should be good enough to deal with that, because protection, I just recently started doing this new protection, and I'm still nurturing it. I'm still feeding my protection. Okay. A lot of people assume that just because this is the occult, that's war. I don't have a relationship with the occult or witchcraft, which is just war. I don't have a war with it. I am very accepting of the fact that I am a witch, and I don't look at it as a negative thing. I don't look at being a witch as a negative thing. I don't have the relationship that I have with myself is not negative, but there's a lot of people that they always look at witchery as being this negative thing, and it doesn't have to be. Witchcraft is not necessarily a negative thing. That's a lie. That's a whole lie. And they automatically assume that witchcraft or witches it's just negative. Okay, it's just negativity. You supposed to be in a war, and mm-mm. Now, when you look at it in terms of if you're looking at being a witch from a biblical standpoint, then yeah, there's an inherent negative connection when it comes to witchcraft and religion. That I did a spirit doll to keep that out though, because and I'm not gonna let any religion force me to constantly live and breathe and have to be in negativity all the time. I'm not gonna do it. I'm a witch. It is what it is, and nobody can sit up here and tell you that you know, because of somebody else's religion, that you just have to constantly be in negativity, constantly 24/7. Okay, that's what that's what I and I believe that that's what a lot of witches should consider. Like, just because you're a witch doesn't mean that you should always have to be caught up in negativity, and you don't even have to you don't even have to entertain it. I mean, sometimes you know that it's there, and sometimes people may even bring that energy to you. But you don't have to just every single time react to it, or even live in that energy. Just keep moving forward and do you. For real, just do you. You know, you don't have to feel some type of way. Okay, that's literally how I feel about the situation. And at my company, um, it's I did a ritual the other day to make sure that my clients, and that like, you know, even if you are a client that has a religious background, that energy doesn't affect, you know, our working relationship. Basically, it doesn't affect it. Like, you don't have to worry about coming to my company and, you know, being punished, because sometimes, because that's where a lot of those monitoring spirits will punish it, because you're not supposed to, you know, if you're keeping the door open to religion, you know, that religion said it said you're not supposed to divinate, you're not supposed to be using cards and things of that nature. So basically, you go and get a reading, and you're facing some kind of punishment or judgment. Okay, just for getting a reading, just for trying to figure things out, you know, being in limbo for years and years and wondering what's going on. You know, living in the world that we're living in, especially the way the world has evolved. I don't know. You know, it's for a lot of people, just ordinary prayer is not working. I think that's why a lot of people seek out answers. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm not trying to speak negatively about anybody's God. But I mean, you know, so it's kind of like you can come over here and peacefully get a reading and not worry about, you know, punishment and judgment for doing so. Okay. So, you know, that's something that we've done just recently, specifically for that specifically. Okay. But then again, the one thing y'all want to think about is that y'all don't want to come to a witch and start doing work with the witch, and then decide, hey, I don't want to make my payment towards my thing, so I'm going to go back to the Bible and try to say some prayers. That's going to make your issue worse, because that's going to make the issue worse. Because now you got to face your punishment for even coming to a witch, and that punishment can be very severe. So that's why I don't understand why people do that. Whatever, you do what you want to do, but I'm saying don't do that. Anyway, when I started walking my path as a witch, you know, I have roots as in the Baptist church, actually. And when I started walking my path as a witch, it was, the whole religion thing, I left it behind, and I let that spirit rest in peace. Okay. It was just, I don't know, a lot of people just, yeah, no. So it's up to it's up to the person, what their mind can withstand. I guess. Mm. So anyway, guys, y'all can schedule a reading if y'all want. The latest thing that we're doing is we're doing in my group, in my Venus healing group, is we have been working on healing of the mind. And I can tell that what I've been doing has been working, because a lot of times, well, it's not just about healing, but I'm clearing heads of your minds of a lot of that negativity. And sometimes when I'm doing the clearings, those energies and spirits, they don't always leave in peace. It's got to be some kind of drama. Even though you'll tell that energy to leave in peace, but the person that I'm doing the work on, like sometimes if I'm doing work on, like, let's say for example, I'm doing work on your significant other and you love this person, and you've noticed that somehow they got a dose of that evil eye, or either some kind of manipulation on a deep level that needs to be purged, right? As that energy is passing through, that person can go through some kind of negativity, to where they're just like negative. For me, what I've tried to do, and it doesn't always work. Sometimes the shit is so negative that the stuff just is, especially if it's something extremely negative, that spirit will let you know that you're getting rid of me and I'm pissed, and that person might say some crazy shit to you, but then you just rest assured that in a day or so, that energy is gone, and that person will be fine. You know what I mean? And main thing people do is they procrastinate and they dilly dally, and the longer that you allow a negative entity or spirit to take over a person's mind, the worse things can be, and it can be a lot harder. I know that spirit has been mainly wanting me to work on the mind, the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind, because a lot of people do need those cleanses out of the mind. You know what I'm saying? And if you're working on another person, they may not necessarily understand. Like if you're working on your child, no matter how old they are, or if you're working on like a significant other, and you're actually helping them by clearing their head of that negativity, and you're protecting them, because it's so serious, guys, that when I get rid of a negative spirit, I make it a point to make it an intention, a reality, and fate. I make it fate. y'all, that when that negative energy is leaving, that it does not cause any death. Sometimes removing curses can be very serious. It can be very dangerous. So you have to speak to fate and say, "Hey, when I get rid of this negativity, it ain't going to cause no kind of murders or violence or anything like that." Because sometimes a person, when you working on them, they can get freaked out, and they'll just be on some real negative stuff, because and it just happens like that. And a lot of people find out what I'm talking about, especially when they're dealing with their loved ones, because you can't just murder your loved ones because you love them, right? You don't just do horrific things to the people that you love because you love them. So if I'm getting rid of a negative spirit, like if somebody done did some kind of real good breakup spell or something, and you getting rid of, we're reversing it. We try to get rid of that negative spirit without it causing some kind of problems. But a lot of times it will bitch and moan as it's leaving, and it'll come from that person. That person will be kind of like real bitchy. But if somebody's been doing scully, I call it scully work. If somebody's been doing skull work that's very dire, that's going to ultimately lead to some kind of destruction. Because especially when you leave a person, if you walk away from a person and they not ready for you to walk away from them, and they go to some of these black magic practitioners that's real good at doing black magic, and the person is like, I don't give a damn. This person left me. I'm upset. They will put something on you, and they'll put it directly in your mind. They'll go straight for the skull candles, okay? Skulls and bones. They'll go straight for that. And their intention is not just to break you up from that person, but their intention, sometimes people will go and say, I want both of them dead. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, I'm upset, and put this death work on them. I just want them to die, which is why you shouldn't seek black magic when you're in an emotional state, because you may make decisions that are going to last you a lifetime. It may be meant for you to break up with that person and go and find real true happiness with someone else. But now you done went to some practitioner on a humbug, and they done opened up the floodgates of hell, and you done put this work on somebody that you shouldn't have done. You should have just said, hey, let's cut the cords and walk away. You go your way, I go mine. I wish you good luck, and I hope that you wish the same for me, and there's no anger. Same thing when people get divorced. That's why divorce can be so devastating. I don't understand why people do that. It's like, okay, the relationship is over, not because somebody did breakup work, because there's a lot of relationships that don't end because of breakup work. It just wasn't meant to be. It was just y'all wasn't compatible, or it just wasn't the right thing, right? So y'all break up, y'all divorce, but one person done decided and got paranoid about some stuff, or they could have sought some kind of advice, and the person didn't know how to interpret it. I think that divination is so important. Even if you don't consider yourself to be psychic, Okay. Somebody leaving a relationship does not necessarily mean that they are trying to cause destruction to you. They're walking away because they feel that it's the best thing for you and for them. But then it's some people that become confused and they'll go to a practitioner, and the practitioner will try, they won't have the discernment. Discernment is a gift. And and they'll pull up the death card and the 10 of wands, or either they'll pull up these major arcanas, and they'll say, oh God, this person has a malice in mind for you, and that's why they left you. But in reality, what spirit is telling them is that the person is just simply moved on, and they ain't thinking about the person. And you go to one of these practices and be like, oh my God, this person is God. Oh God, you need to protect yourself. We need to curse this person. This person is putting death on you, and da 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 da. And that other person is just simply living their life, and you may have think, or maybe spirit is telling you, hey, this person walked away from you, but you need to work on yourself. See, that is something that people have a hard time telling people when they need to work on themselves. There may be other situations that you need to deal with, and there's certain ways that you need to deal with that situation. But it's I think it's hard for people to sometimes say to people. Like, for example, if somebody comes to me and says, Jamila, what is going on? Things are not going well in my life. And I look at the cards, and I'm very, very good at reading the cards. I'm good at reading people too, but them cards make it so very clear, and they don't lie. Especially right now while Mercury is in retrograde. A lot of y'all need to deal with past life stuff. This is you. Who you were in a past life is you. It's a part of you. And those things need to be prioritized, because whatever you were, or whoever you were in a past life, is what is attracting certain people to you and situations. It is. And people can try to argue that and refute that, even if somebody, because like I said, sometimes curses, if people are putting curses on you, sometimes that cursing spirit, because I believe that it's spirits, it'll go all the way back several lifetimes ago and find something, and next thing you know, the gates are open. And so that's why it's very important for you to protect your south gate, because that's a gateway. So that's the reason why I was telling people, y'all need to get into my protection, because when even if you just do the piggyback protection, a lot of that stuff that people that are trying to curse you or hex you, they can pull that stuff from the south gate. It can't come in with my protection. It can't. And if it does come in, what's gonna come in with it is that wisdom and some of your power that you had in the past life too, because everybody don't just, it ain't just all bad in a past life. There was some power that existed that you had, and strength. So that'll come in with it, because sometimes spirit will just go ahead and let it come in anyway, because you got to deal with that anyway. So I actually specialize in past life stuff. People don't like it's so weird how people, it's like, why don't you want to face that? Why are you so afraid? It's not going to kill you. What's going to kill you or make you sick or destroy your life is avoiding it. So past life, spiritual work, it's very real. And I think that it's kind of rare for there to be practitioners out there that actually do offer those types of services. That's actually kind of rare that people do that. But it's actually a good thing when when you find somebody that does know how to work on that. I guess it's a lot of people out there that are not hip to that, but people have to be, because sometimes the weaker aspects of your past self can take over, and then you're doing stuff and you're being problematic and you're causing trouble. And in your past life, some people have had a past life to where they died at like the age of 12 or 13, right? And that doesn't mean that you're going to die in this life very young, because you're older, you're an adult now. But you may have like past life stuff can randomly affect us. And so you never know what was going on in that past life. And then if you're not protecting yourself from that, because really that shouldn't be happening. My theory is that maybe CERN has a lot to do with it too, as to why people's past lives are just randomly affecting them too, because sometimes it's not the result of a hex. CERN is opening up gateways and stuff with a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I will say that, which is why a lot of people are a little afraid of that. They don't like it. They don't like the fact that they're doing that. But what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna go and do some Terminator type stuff? You gonna be the next what's her name? And I think she pass away in real life, the lady that played Sarah Connor in the Terminator. I think that lady passed away. I think. It was so sad that she passed away. I was like, oh man, I like her. Anyway, she moved on, passed on, I believe. But what are you gonna do? You gonna blow up CERN like Cyberdyne Technologies like she did in the movie? Oh goodness. To me, CERN is Cyberdyne Technologies almost, to me, because it's a machine. It's a machine that is doing spiritual things, that is making contact with our universe. And I think that they doing too much. Personally, I do. But what am I going to do about it? They say what they say about what it is that they doing. And I mean, what so I would say protect yourself from it, and complain about it later is what I say. I say put the protection in place and then complain about the situation later, and quit wasting time, because sometimes people waste way too much time complaining and crying over shit. Just protect yourself from it, because I do think that whatever it is that they're doing is definitely causing some intensification of things. And what else can you do except for protect yourself from it? You know what I'm saying? So y'all should look them up. And a lot of people will say, well, God, God. Yeah, but God gives us the knowledge. And God is the one that allowed all of this new technology to come out. So, what are you gonna do? Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna end this live. Y'all can schedule readings with me. Um, right now, while Mercury is in retrograde, everybody needs to be getting a pass. You need to be looking at how your past life is affecting you. And you have to be very honest about it. You can't be a person that's in denial. Denial has not done anybody any good. Okay? Because eventually it's going to catch up with you. And I think Mercury will be in retrograde for what, another week or so. So this is an excellent time to look at that. Okay? Because some of the stuff that's happening can possibly be coming from people currently, but you also need to prioritize whatever that is. And it's a very real thing. Okay. So you guys can get in contact with me about that. I'll see y'all later. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and y'all can schedule readings by either texting me at 770-686 7461. Okay, or you guys can go to my link tree and I have my PayPal links there. That's my website, is my link tree. Okay. So I don't have like a website yet because I want a new website is what I want. So eventually Divine Services Apothecary, when you click on the when you go to Divine Services Apothecary, it's the link is being redirected to my link tree because I want a new website. And that's going to be coming up soon. So my website is under construction. Okay, because I kind of wasn't really happy with the the e-commerce website that I had previously. So that's why I said let me go ahead because I ain't really happy with this anyway. And I didn't like the way I didn't like the way customer service was acting one day when I called them. So, yeah. So anywho, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later. Okay. All right, bye.